Hey, everybody. So in this episode, we're going to be featuring some of the team members that we are working with on DJ Make a Movie. So scattered throughout the episode, you'll be meeting Brannigan, who we talk about today, and Brandon, and the editors. And I'm just so excited for you to meet everybody. So when you see them, they're great kids. That was a bad ending, but...
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show is about to begin. Darren and Josh make a movie.
You ready?
Yeah.
Put your shit down. Have some goddamn respect. Hey, everyone. It is Darren and Josh make a movie. Josh, we have a very special guest. I'm very excited. Addison! Yay!
Hi, guys.
Before we start, today it should be a national holiday. It's not a holiday, but do you know what today is, Josh?
Tell me, I have no idea.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Today?
It is the 20-year anniversary since Saw 2 is in theaters today.
Really?
Today. And you know who told me that?
Yeah.
Do you know who told me?
No, I don't.
Our good friend Gabe. Gabe, say hello really. Come in front of the camera and say hello, Gabe, really quickly. Say hello and show everyone your shirt that you're wearing.
Saw and Order.
Saw and Order. Gabe has been a lifelong supporter of the Saw franchise. I call him the historian of the Saw franchise. He knows more about Saw than all of us combined. Before we begin, I got to admit to something.
Yeah.
I did a bad dye job on my hair this morning, so I can't decide if I'm going to keep the hat on or off. I'm completely gray. Do you know that? I have no dark hair on top of my head. And I dyed it, and then I had a really Giuliani going on in the car this morning. I saw like black going. I was like, oof, gotta fix that. So I need a gut pillow, and I need like a hair person.
Where is your gut pillow?
I don't know. It's really upsetting.
Sorry.
I got black on, so I'm
You're good.
fine.
You're good.
Okay.
You're good.
So Josh, this episode is been a long time coming. I think it's our first trying to really break these ideas into something more manageable, because I think up to now we've just been talking in these big generalities of we're going to make a privilege movie, we're going to make a Comic-Con killer movie, but we don't really have any ideas outside of that.
Yeah.
So what I would like to do is get a room full of our peers together and spitball ideas. So before we do that, I think you and I need to know what the movie is we're making, and at least have a broader. Right now we have a broad idea. We need a more specific idea.
Yeah.
So how do you want to start this, and what one you want to start
on? I'm open to starting with either one. Addison, do you have a preference?
No, I don't think so. I mean, we could start with the privilege, because I feel like we've talked a lot about Oricon.
Yeah.
And so that maybe we should end with the big idea then.
Yeah, yeah. And just as a reminder, what the plan is that we're going to try to package the Killer Con idea, the horror convention idea, package it with actors, maybe find a good director for it.
Mm-hmm. Get a producer and a writer, and it'll be great.
So that one we're going to package, put together more as a pitch. And then Privilege, we're going to just write a script for. So,
I mean, it's interesting to back in, because again, this is a filmmaking podcast about what it is we're doing and why we're doing it. There are many ways you can break a story. Josh, I'm sure there's been many times that, and you usually work with partners, but I'm sure when you break a story, you sit in your room in silence with a white paper and you just start start throwing ideas. I personally, normally when I have an idea, I don't do any sort of outline. I find that it takes me a lot longer, but if I just start writing, I'll usually produce something that's mid-grade terrible. And then I start refining that until I get something good. But this is exciting for me because I don't really do this. Is this how you normally work?
I usually do the same thing you do. I call it a vomit draft. You just vomit out every idea you have. You don't censor yourself. You just throw it out all on the page, and then you start stripping things away, adding things in, expanding on the stuff that works, stripping out the stuff that doesn't work. But yeah,
we had a thing at office hours where if you're in Los Angeles, we're gonna start doing these more frequently. This last one we had at Black Market Liquor Bar. And we invited anyone that's a listener to come and hang out with us. And it was funny because some of the people that I'd never met before, because I don't like talking to people, and I actually get very uncomfortable when people talk to me. we had some interesting ideas from some of the people there.
Yeah.
Hey, have you thought about this? Have you thought about this?
Yeah. I mean, it's really wonderful that so many people are engaged and excited and want to be a part of it, which is great. So, all right, so let's start talking about privilege. So, I feel like we're all on the same page now that we want to make sure that we're containing the story, creating a smaller version of what I first pitched.
Can we go around the table and talk about again, I'm going to tell you what I love about it, what I'm scared of about it, and you do the same thing. And then let's start there, because I think you've come up with a very commercial idea that I understand completely within a second. You'd say, this is what it is. You got a privilege, you can kill. I love that. I am scared, though, as a filmmaker, it being buried as a copycat to The Purge.
Yeah.
But I think that could be said for any movie. Killer Khan movie, the same thing. I know Bruce Campbell's made movies that are similar in nature.
Yep.
So the first thing that I want to say is, how do we not lose the novelty of your idea, yet try to differentiate it from The Purge as much as possible, or lean into it so we hang a hat on it? So no one's being like, oh, they're trying to be like The Purge. We hang a hat on it. And yeah, of course. But I love your opening scene. And I wish that we could take that idea, start with that, and then go much, much smaller with it, something more manageable.
Open big, open with a show-stopping kill, fun moment, and then pull back.
So before we go any further than that, your love and concern.
Got it.
So what is yours of it?
Yeah, my concern is that I'm slightly worried that we're going to pigeonhole ourselves in trying to make something smaller. I'm concerned that we're going to make it too small, too personal, and not fun. So that would be my concern. But I also know that if we're going to try to make this thing, we need to contain it a little bit. Although, since we're planning on doing this, speccing this, there's a possibility that, you know, we can write something that might be a $10 to $15 million movie if we want to.
Addison.
Obviously, I don't think it should take place in Times Square if we don't have the budget for it. I do really like this idea, mainly because it is a very Saw movie, and you guys are the creators of Saw, so I think you do a really good job with it. The only thing I guess I would say is I feel like there should be an age limit to who gets it. So you should make it kind of say, once you turn the age of 18, then you are then able to get the privilege. I don't know that we should necessarily make it to where kids can get it. Because I think.
And are you worried about it because you're worried about just killing kids, or you're worried that, or
maybe that,
just trying to make it feel more realistic?
Has anyone seen The Long Walk?
Yes. I love The Long Walk.
I just saw The Long Walk and it was really impactful to me. And it showed me that is a very personal story. And I know it costs a lot of money to make it. It had to cost a lot of money to make that movie, but there is a version of that movie that doesn't cost a lot of money because it's all outside. It's people walking in a straight line. And the deaths were vicious.
Yeah.
Have you seen it yet?
Yeah. And I feel like that's kind of, we could make that movie.
That's what I'm saying.
Super realistic.
That's what I'm saying, is that to me, that is a movie that could be made. Before, maybe there is a have your cake and eat it too on her note, is maybe The Purge is all ages, but you can't use it if anyone's under a certain age, meaning that a 12-year-old might be able to get it, but the recipient has to be of a certain age.
Right.
Because I think that, to me, what is the most shocking about film is when you look at somebody that should not be doing something. I know in our first episode, when we met with Dead Meat James, I think it was his wife who said they're sick of geriatric horror. I was thinking that's fun. I think that was to me, I always love it because, you know, it's something fun because I'm used to watching middle-aged men kill each other.
Right.
But seeing somebody that's not. But so the first, if I can narrow it down and get from all of us, what is the tone of the movie? Because I think that's going to determine a lot. Because if you look at something like Battle Royale, or you look at something like Hunger Games, or The Long Walk, they all have the same idea of a competition kill series kind of thing.
And I was going to say something too, because if you if I think there should be a thing, if you get the privilege, then there's a sort of you have to use it, and if you don't use it, then you'll be killed, or
Yeah,
there's like
I
that
think
sort of
I like that.
because it's like
yeah,
how
yeah.
much do you value your life? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, and that's what Saw goes back to at the end of the day. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
what are you willing to do
Yeah.
to keep your life? How much do you value it, and are you willing to take someone else's to do so?
Well, before we get to that point, I think we need the most fundamental thing. We've talked about this, and it was again our first episode, which is what is the subgenre of this? What is the feeling of this movie? What is the tone? Because the tone's going to mean everything. If it is, you know, Final Destination, I don't think you ever really feel bad when anyone in Final Destination dies. You're waiting for it. You're anticipating.
You're hoping.
Yeah.
Yeah,
hoping
and
it
then
happens.
you high five when it happens. But you look at it, you look at some of these other movies like The Long Walk, where you're cringing and you don't want it to happen.
Right.
What is the tone of that we want to make? I think that's the most important thing to decide now that will dictate the rest of the conversation on the privilege
Yeah.
when we're talking to this room of writers.
I think, and I don't think it's a mistake, the movies that you referenced there, which was The Long Walk, Hunger Games, Battle Royale is more crazy, how, but Hunger Games and The Long Walk are feel very grounded, very real. You feel for the characters when
Didn't
they
the same
die.
director direct them? He did. Francis Lawrence directed the second, third, and fourth Hunger Games.
Oh, really?
And then
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, because Hunger Games and Long Walk were both a part of Lionsgate.
Yeah, it's
So-
I think it was
Yeah.
Francis Lawrence. But I'm trying to think of a competition show where it's fun. Where, well, I mean, the new Running Man kind of looks like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what do we want people to feel throughout the course of this movie?
I don't think this is a competition. I think we push competition out of the way, partly because of
Yeah.
Hunger Games and The Long Walk, like partly because of those things. I feel like we're
Then it would be a mix of The Purge and
yeah,
competition.
we'd just be locking ourselves too much into something that already existed, and we're just trying to. We don't want to choose something that then we're trying to separate ourselves from. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So what is the feeling we want people to have when the death occurs? Is it happiness and jubilation? Is it upset and disgust that we are excited about this person dying? Because to me, tone is everything. Because tone dictates, you know, what kind of movie we're going to make and who we're going to cast and the type of writing name it's going to be.
I mean, I feel like you could even go a Dexter route with it too, because it's like, you know, Dexter, I don't know if you want to consider him to be a bad person, but whenever he does end up killing somebody, I'm rooting for him the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I want this to happen. And you could even go about it like that in a sense too, where it's like you want them to go through with it so that they're the ones that survive.
I think, and maybe I've only watched the first two Purges, and so I don't know the answer to this, and maybe you guys can answer this, but is the Purge ever from the standpoint of the Purgers, or is it always the one that's under
Being
attack?
purged.
Yeah.
It's the one that's being under attack, and then they reverse the tables in the final act, and they become the purger.
So I'm just wondering on this. I just rewatched. I might have talked about it on the podcast, but I'm trying to show Henry movies that I think will have an impact on him now.
Right.
Even though my wife won't let me show him Nightmare on Elm Street, which I have no fucking idea why. You can watch all these other goddamn things.
I
Right.
watched that movie when I was like 10.
Exactly. 10 is the correct age. But I showed him V for Vendetta.
Right.
And what I loved about V for Vendetta, I talked to you about this very early on about my concern with the privilege was I am the best in hyper realistic worlds.
Right.
And I think why Repo or The Devil's Carnival or any of these movies worked for me was because it was a little bit bigger and more grandiose.
Right.
If you look at V for Vendetta, it's such a timely story today. If you watch it now and you replace their dictator, John Hurt plays the guy in it, and you put any of the most like the current politics, it's what's happening right now.
Right. Right.
But it's futuristic, it's stylized, it's whatever.
Right.
I almost wonder, like, is there an approach of that where you could put Tobin Bell as a, authoritative leader who is doing this? But again, I want to try to stay away from both Hunger Games and The Purge. Where in Hunger Games, it was I'm trying to think of the guy's name who played Donald Sutherland's character, who is this, I'm doing this for the betterment of humanity. I want to understand where and when the purge takes place. Does it take place after a civil war? Does it take place? And how do we make that not like the purge? Because I think in the purge, it all happened after a major event. And they did this in a long walk. That's
Well,
exactly.
it happens once a year. The purge happens once a year.
Once a year. It's all once a year.
To
One day.
try to cut back on violence in the United States.
Yeah.
So,
and the long walk, I mean, let's be honest, the long walk, the idea behind it, the reason that they're doing the long walk is the exact same reason they're doing the purge.
it is.
I mean, it is.
Prove that, yeah, it is.
It's to let people release. It's to prove that, you know, you can make something of yourself if you care enough.
But the long walk was also a book before.
It was. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was Richard Bachman.
Richard
What?
Bousman.
I know. Okay, so go. You know, throwing to me out there. I want the movie on. To me, I think the biggest separator between the two ideas is that this movie could say something and actually mean something.
Yeah.
Not saying that Killer Khan can't, but I think that this movie has the ability to actually have a message.
Right.
I wanted to make a movie like Falling Down for a long time.
Right.
I think I talked to you about that. I love Falling Down, where basically, because every day of my life, I am 1 inch away from falling down.
Yeah.
And it is, I'll give you, I literally had a falling down moment recently where I went in, it was Sunday afternoon. I went to brunch. I was by myself. It was the first, you can't take my kids anywhere. They scream, they fight. So I was like, fuck it. I'm this brunch spot. It looks fucking awesome. I'm in the back of the line.
Right.
And it was a 20-minute line. I get up there and it's 11:07 and they're like, sorry, sir, we just stopped serving brunch. And I'm like, I've been in line for 30 minutes. And they're like, sorry, sir, we stopped 7 minutes ago. And I see the fucking scrambled eggs on the fryer. I see whatever. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And I got mad. I felt and that was what happened in Falling Down. I think it was McDonald's. He couldn't get a McDonald's breakfast. I wonder if there is a character in it. Because I mentioned originally, what if it was a kid? But what if it's a person in middle age who basically
It's been walked over his
all his
entire
life, his wife, his kids, his boss is fucking his wife, his trainer fucked his wife, his best friend stole money and embezzled money. Like, this guy is a fucking just anyone that could have taken advantage of him takes advantage of him, and then he gets the purge.
Right.
Or he gets the purge. See, I gotta watch. He gets the privilege.
Yeah.
He gets the privilege. And everyone that has wronged him now, you could have almost a satire where I go back to the Twilight Zone movie, where remember the one where the kid, I've talked about this on the show. It's like the kid, everyone kisses the kid's ass, and the teacher comes home and everyone's like, whatever you want, what do you want for dinner? And overly kissing the kid's ass. Imagine where you have this almost satirical thing where this guy, everyone knows he's got the privilege and they know they've walked on him his entire life.
Right.
And so you're doing that.
Yeah.
The problem with that version of it is you're dealing with a singular instance of one person.
And in that version, it'll become the same as Falling Down. It's just like the character you're describing doesn't need a piece of paper to go off and kill somebody. He's just bent in the head.
Yeah, but this gets him away. I think he's always played by the rules and he's never broken the rules, and that's got him walked over. Now he's still going to play by the rules. He doesn't have to break playing by the rules. He's got the ability to kill.
Right.
I'm going to throw out another idea, and this one's we've never talked about. Just thinking about it now. What like a Magnolia version of this, a Boogie Nights version, where you're cross-cutting between four stories, four completely different stories that will eventually connect. Of four different people that have been given the privilege. And, you know, to me, Magnolia is one of my favorite movies, that you're with one character and then the camera passes, now you're with this character. Then it allows us to have more kills and almost different ways into each one of these privileged kills. One can be fun, one can be serious, one can be horrific, one can be whatever. I don't mean do an anthology. It would have to be a part of a singular storyline.
Right.
That's the other way into it.
I like that. I think there's something there. What I also love about it is that we can go as big as we want on some of them and small and intimate with others. Like, what if the vice president of the United States got the privilege, and then all of a sudden you're like,
the
president is like.
One other thing is rewatching Clockwork Orange and listening to the commentary track on that. I forgot how fantastical the production design of Clockwork Orange was.
Oh my God, yeah.
And they talked about it. They said it was very cheap. They went into this part where, there was all these industrial looking buildings and they leaned into that very authoritative industrial looking look. And then they production designed it to be this whatever. I wonder if we could do it in a, that the four stories had different looks, different feels, but existed in the same world. Like soccer mom, a business tycoon, a grandmother, and someone else. They all end up, we're following these stories as it's going on. That allows us many bites at the apple. And it allows us to play in different.
If we do the, I know you're saying it's not anthology, but it's going to come across as anthology. How can we create a main character that we're following along the way? Like, is it the person that's delivering the papers? Is it the person that's investigating why only people of a certain wealth have gotten the privilege over the course of the last 10 years?
Have we talked about it on a religious scale too? Because I was going to say, like, if you made it on a smaller scale in a small town, kind of like Fred State, you did something along those lines, and it had to do with religion or a sacrifice of some sort. And it's like there's 4 sacrifices that year, and it's 4 people who are deemed to have to do that. And if they don't, then, obviously they reap the consequences of God or whoever they praise. So it could even be on that scale too. Right? Then I feel like that kind of pushes further away from the purge.
I have made no qualms that my favorite subgenre is full core. That is my absolute hands down. And there's a great, if you guys have Shudder, there's a great documentary on Shudder right now about full core that it's like 3.5 hours. I think that doing what you're talking about brings it into a more horror aspect of it, where I'm just riffing on what you said, but you take like a small Gatlin, like Children of the Corn town, where a Wicker Man like town, they're kind of isolated. They're isolated, but they have a rule that there's a random lottery that 4 people will get. And it's all within this town. And in that thing, they have to make the most fair way to do these sacrifices is we put it in the hands of this random lottery called the privilege, and they can kill 4 people, because it has to be 4, making this up, 4 sacrifices per year. And so we don't know who they're going to kill. They don't know who they're going to kill, but the ground needs 4 sacrifices. Right. And now you can cut between these 4 storylines, and you still have the town as the central character because they all exist in this small community. So you're taking what was your pitch was a big global thing and minimizing it into a smaller, I just picture gap.
Be a lot cheaper too.
Yeah. And do we, in that kind of situation, do we create an alt reality in the same way that they did with The Witch or those kinds of films?
No,
or
I mean, if you look
Village,
if you look at Wicker Man, there is not it is a constable comes to an island that basically has closed itself off from everywhere else, and they live by their own rules and their own, they have this harvest festival. I think that I just went to Kentucky, and I was driving through these towns that are so isolated and so off the reservation that I think that things could take place. But we could, I think the other thing we can do is, we can just set up a town and a community and make it the audience buy into that town or community. Right. So they understand that it's a mom and pop run. It's a 1 stoplight town, but they have this weird belief that 4 sacrifices has to be made every year. And now the town never knows who's going to not only get the privilege, but who's the one that's going to be killed. And then we can do what I'm talking about. One of them could be a bully, a bullied kid that gets it. One of them could be the constable of the town. One of them could be the geriatric woman in memory care that has partial dementia. And she will be killed if she doesn't put it out. And then you could have fun, because imagine this. Imagine you have a 92-year-old woman. And I'm sorry, Chelsea, I know you hate geriatric horror. But imagine she has to kill within this time, but she's got dementia. She doesn't even know how to hold a knife, let alone. And so you could do a young person, an old person.
Somebody who's trying to go against the religion too.
So someone trying to escape this town. And then you can lean into more horror and folk horror kind of elements into it. So that's another question we have to solve. Is this global? Is it regional? Is it what is it that we're saying this thing is right now?
Yeah. Well, if we keep it regional and we don't go global with it, it also helps us stay away from the purge a little bit. Because
there's other elements that we could bring into it as well.
It also gives you a franchise, because then the sequel could be it's expanding, that it's going further, that this idea of this town is going further, and it's now becoming stateside, then it's becoming national.
Yeah.
I like the idea, though, of not locking ourselves into a singular kill for this and being able to have numerous. And I think the way to do numerous and to keep it is the small town element, where I think that's a good idea. The other idea, and I'm worried because I haven't seen it since I saw it in theaters, is a movie called The Contenders. You remember the girl that was in the well of Silence of the Lamb that puts the lotion on the skin?
Oh yeah, I love her.
She's in it, and it's a reality show. It's a reality show killing competition, and I think it's kind of like Man Bites Dog, where they're following them around.
Got it.
But you could do, if you want to go bigger with it, you can do a reporter that is, this is the 10th year, the 10th anniversary of this, and she's following people around.
That's good. That's good. That's good, because that does what I was hoping to try to find, is who our main character is, despite, because I don't think the main character is the kid or the old lady who gets the purge. I think, or gets the purge, gets the privilege.
The privilege.
And that gives us somebody to follow and an investigation to happen that creates plot and all of that other stuff.
I can't do this because I'm recording audio, but I think it's called The Contenders. We should look at that. But in both Man Bites Dog and Contenders, they're found footagey. Can you look up The Contenders?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think as long as we don't go that, and we go narrative, meaning that it's a narrative version and not a found footage or only through the camera of her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm watching now? I'm watching this show on Hulu. It's National Geographic called Trafficked.
So this movie? 2000.
No, I'm going to say this.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just called Contender.
Okay, recording this 6 or so hours after I got both my COVID and flu shots, so hopefully I don't pass out in the middle of this, but hey everyone, this is Thomas Bryant. I edited some of the promos for Darren and Josh Make a Movie, and I also edited some of the episodes as well, including the Shawnee Smith episode. Even outside of Saw, I've really respected what both Darren and Josh have done as filmmakers, and I've always admired their passion for everything they've worked on. And being involved in this series and being able to connect with the two of them, along with the rest of the crew for the podcast, really it's been incredible, really. And I'm really proud and honored to be a part of this journey.
Hi, my name is Madeline. I run the TikTok account. I also help on set sometimes when we're filming. I am currently studying my BFA in live action film video at CalArts, which is pretty cool. I'm very grateful for that. My favorite movie is Possum, that came out in 2018. I also do some special effects makeup, which is pretty cool, pretty fun. Yeah, that's about it.
I told you to stop leaving bad reviews about Good Luck Chuck. Hi, I'm Brannigan, and I live in Las Vegas, and I work on the Instagram.
And me. My name's Alina, and I joined the DJ Make a Movie crew from all the way over here. And I'm creating the podcast's movie toolkit. So everything for your movie production paperwork needs. Absolutely love the project, love the concept, and cheers.
Hey guys, my name is Chase. I'm from Washington, D.C. and I'm going to be running the Discord. I'm a current sophomore at SCAD. I'm a film major. I also do special effects for film and TV, and I'm a DJ. So I'm going to show you guys some stuff I've been working on.
Greetings. I trust that you are all wondering where you are. You don't know me, but I know you.
Hey everyone, my name is Brandon Bruno. I'm a filmmaker, podcast producer, and video editor here in Louisiana. I'm new to the editing crew for Darren and Josh Make a Movie. I'm cutting my first episode right now. We have some really cool stuff coming up. I'm excited to be on board, and I'm just looking forward to working with everyone on the creative process to make this new movie happen for Darren and Josh.
Have you seen The Sacrament too?
I love that movie.
I have not. No.
Amazing
Good stuff.
movie. But it's kind of like going back to more of the cult type. It's like if you think about things like Jonestown,
Right.
and how those cults took place, they took place in such a small town and away from society that it's like, yeah, something like
Series 7, sorry.
something like The Privilege could definitely take place if it was out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm from the country too, and nothing happens out there. So
Right,
I know for a fact there's just tumbleweeds and corn, and that's it.
What's four people dying is not going to make national news. That's
It's
something
not.
they can keep underground. So I think that, people die every second of the day. So 4 deaths is not going to raise an alarm. And specifically if the entire town is in on it, they're not going to call in. Yeah. They're not going to call and complain.
Yeah.
So it's called Series 7, The Contenders. In the near future,
I remember.
reality TV will have
Yeah.
reached extreme. The contenders see 6 contestants chosen by chance with no right of appeal, sent out to kill each other with one last one standing as the winner. It goes to the latest series. And so it's a series they're doing following the set.
Right.
But if you did a narrative version of that, where it's not reality based, but it's a serious news channel that is following this, I still think that, and maybe this is something we bring up in the writers' room, I still like the idea of the small town because it separates it further from The Purge.
Yeah.
And I think you can lean more into horror tropes, not tropes, but like if we wanted to have a monster per se, like in the very end, we can see that this god that they're worshiping or sacrificing to is real if we wanted to, or not, or it's all bullshit and none of it's real and they just do it as a sick game of whatever. Where there's a lot more freedom in that. The other way is a political message. We go New York, we go London, like you're talking about, we go Times Square, and we make some kind of message politically, like it's all rigged. I just read this morning that Trump is going to try to go for a 3rd term, and he can do whatever he wants. If this thing has been going on for decades now, and another reporter uncovers that the people getting the privilege all fall within the same.
I think that's the secret sauce for this idea, is that there is a discovery that something is that someone's using it, so that we create a plot, we create a mystery, we create something we're trying to discover over the course of the film. I think that's it, and maybe even what we do is we kind of combine a couple of things you guys were saying, where what if this woman or man who becomes our protagonist, our main character from out of town that comes into this creepy, crazy, weird place to do the investigation, and maybe we play with, it's the first, like maybe there's like some ritual that they do. It's not rolling dice, but let's say it is. They roll a dice and it's to see how many papers go out to our community. How many the gods are hoping that we need to sacrifice. And then, oh my God, it's the first time that we rolled a 32 or something like that. And that way we can get the kill count up. It becomes a mystery because we're trying to discover, is it rigged? Is it not rigged? Why are these particular people getting it? There's something to latch on there.
The concern that I would have is biting off more than we can choose in a. The good news with this one is it's a spec and we don't have to write it for us to try to raise the financing for it. I would be concerned about the mythology that we have to impart onto an audience before we begin our story. I mean, we have to, the conceit that an event happened, a conceit that this has been going on for long enough to there to be a crime that we can be like, wait, there's something fishy going on with this.
Yeah.
You have to tell all that story. Maybe that's a cool challenge. Like, how do we drop all that addition in the first 10 minutes?
Come on, they do it all. I mean, just look at the Hunger Games. You have to get out the idea that there are 10 different, there are 10 different communities and it's based on your wealth. And 1 is the coal people and 10 is the rich people living in the palace. And there's this thing that we do. I mean, it's like, and I haven't seen the movie in 10 years, but I bet you they do it in the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Hold on. I got Mark Bird calling and it stopped my recording. So let me do.
All right.
Any other parting thoughts on that?
No, I think if I can get down a page on this before we meet up with our friends, our writer friends, just so we're working off of
Then you
something
work on the
solid.
page. Here's what we'll do. Why don't you? Here's what we'll do. Let's homework. You write the page on that based on what we talked about. I'll write the page on the Killer Con. We'll send them both to Addison to do a look over on it before we. So at least we're coming into this meeting with everyone with a here is a one pager on it.
Good. Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
I like that. Okay, good.
Hi, my name is Will Cherico. I'm in my Halloween costume right now as I record this. But to introduce myself to you, my job at Darren and Josh Make a Movie is I work with Josh and another volunteer named Alina to essentially make what we call a filmmaker's toolkit. So that is basically all the documents most of the documents that you would use on a film set, a call sheet, a shot list, etc. And our goal is to not just make that for us, but to also make it something available to you, so that when you, the audience, make your own projects, you have a big list of kind of the essentials to make already there for you. It's a really exciting job. It's a really cool way to be part of the horror filmmakers community. And I'm really excited to see what you all make with it. So great to meet you all.
Hi, I'm Greg Green from Nashville, Tennessee, and I am part of the Darren and Josh Make a Movie crew. I help manage the Blue Sky social media channel, I help with the Zoom room when we have live events, and I am the show's resident Stephen Graham Jones expert. Every show needs a Stephen Graham Jones expert. But what I love most about this show is getting to see how an independent film can be made from the ground up, understanding how artistic ambition and business drivers will work together to create a film. And I am thrilled that you're watching the show along with us.
Why did you give me like 5 minutes, Josh? Hi, my name's Sasha, and I'm currently the only member of the crew who lives in the UK. I'm the segment producer, video editor, and sound designer of Steve Barton, or Uncle Creepy's segment, Page 1 Rewrite. My favourite horror movie is Saw 3, so thanks Darren for that. Although it's not my favourite movie of all time, unfortunately being knocked off the #1 spot by Clue, which is an interesting choice for me, but there you go. I've been low-key networking with Josh since I was about 16 years old, and it is awesome to finally get the chance to work with him on something, so thanks a lot for that, Josh. You're gonna regret it. One day, this disc will stop falling down, but not today. And stop organising everything for 2 a.m, please, thanks.
Hi, I'm Cyrus. I work on the website, and fun fact about me, I made the shirt that I'm wearing right now, and the shirt that Josh is wearing too. And I'm drunk. I'm never drunk because I don't drink. I am against drinking, and I feel like it's not a good thing to do. Yeah, I've never seen Josh drink in my entire life.
So let's move on to KillerCon. And can we think of a better name, because it bums me out? It just seems so generic and like bargain basement. I'm going to be heading to Orlando this week to go do my 4th con I've ever done.
Okay.
Actually, Brannigan is going to be there with me.
I'm so excited.
Brannigan calls me and he was just like, "Hey man, do you want me to come out there and film?" And I was like, "Brannigan, man, I don't want to ask you." He's like, "No, I'm gonna go do it." And then I get text 10 minutes later, like, "I bought my plane ticket."
Oh,
I got one.
I love Brannigan. He's the best.
So I think we're gonna be doing we might be doing a singular podcast on my side. You might have to go around.
I like it. I like
my
it.
con convention.
I like it. Good.
But I'm excited because I've said it from the very beginning. There are so many things about that environment to me that is so interesting. Forget the horror, forget the killing, the incestual nature of being in a hotel with all of these actors. The going on I ran into Bill Mosley. I went to Monster Palooza. You were at Monster Palooza, right? It's not a Monster Palooza. And I was talking to Bill and I was like, "Oh, I got something for you." And he's like, "Well, I can't. I'm going right from here to Nashville. And Nashville, I'm going to Chattanooga. Then I'm doing this. And I'm going to this con over here." And he's like, "I'm on the circuit for the next 3 months." It's like on the circuit. And you realize that these guys are on a circuit. And I think that, to me, what I really want to do is set the movie up. And again, the let's say high thing I love and then I'm worried about. I love that taking a world that maybe people are familiar with or think they know and giving it a spin to make it more humanizing, yet utterly outrageous at the same time. The wrestler via horror. I love that. I'm scared that I want to elevate the material and be away from what people assume it is just by the pitch. And I think that when you talk about it, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, you know, Bruce Campbell made a movie like that, or so-and-so made a movie like that. And I've looked at all of them and they're nothing like what I want to do. There are elements that are similar. It's like, yeah, Bruce Campbell played Bruce Campbell or Kane Hodder played Kane Hodder.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be the challenge on this one is making the execution better than the premise.
Yeah.
Before we go any further, what is your take on what you're worried about us avoiding here?
Yeah, look, my main thing is that it's just not all inside jokes and wink, wink at the camera. And like, that's the thing that scares me, because it's going to separate the audience from feeling any kind of emotional connection to the material. So I think we need to lay really heavy into that these people are playing themselves, and yes, they're heightened versions of themselves, but they're not silly versions of themselves. That's my main.
What do you think of the studio?
The studio, the TV show?
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's great.
Is that too in jokey for you?
I mean, they're making a comedy. They're specifically going for the joke. I don't know if we'll be going for the joke. I don't think this is a comedy.
I feel like it should be a Ghostbusters type movie.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, I think you gotta lean into the, because if you're gonna try to play this seriously, no one, unless by playing it serious is what makes it fun. Like, I think that part of what is exciting about this is the just complete absurdity of what takes place in these cons with these people that are known to be scary and intimidating, but they're not. They're making farts in their hotel room and playing bridge in the lobby with, you know, Pinhead and Kane Hodder playing bridge. It's that's what really happens. I mean, I told you I went to the one where Bill Moseley and Sid Haig officiated a wedding as those two characters, and then I ended up in a room with Sid Haig and his brownies and making everyone eat brownies. And he made hotel brownies. It's like the absurdity of that. Yet here's Captain Spaulding doing that. If you try to shy away from that, I worry.
Are we trying to make like a horror convention movie and just like show the horror convention, or is there going to be like horror elements to it? Because right now it sounds like it's just going to be a comedy.
No, I think that it is. I'm
in agreement with our young friend Addison.
I think that we need to understand what the inciting. This movie to me relies. It's completely made up of the inciting incident works. If that thing works, then I'm not worried about anything else. I understand the first act completely. I know the first act. I can tell you what the first act is right now, and I think how to completely get an audience. What I don't know is. That's wrong. I have the first 2/3 of the first act. I don't know act which will propel us into what the thing is.
Yeah.
And I think that it is, and I'm trying to think of a comp that I can say. Galaxy Quest would be a comp. Galaxy Quest is probably the best comp that I can give. But if you took Galaxy Quest and skewed it horror and not Gene Roddenberry and Star Trek, but you went horror with it, it's that.
Can I just for if you're watching right now, go into the comments of the YouTube right now and just give us your feeling as far as tone, what you in your mind imagine tonally. Are you hoping that this is a 50-50 comedy horror? Are you hoping it's like what's the percentage of horror? That's what I want to know.
I feel like the tone should be funny, but grounded at the same time. And I think it should be a 50-50 comedy horror, or even like a 30-70 of 30% comedy, 70% horror.
So like, are you guys thinking Tucker and Dale versus Evil? Like, is that that's the vibe?
Yeah.
Army of Darkness. I mean, here's the thing is, I understand both what you're saying and the concern you have. My thing is, I am looking at this purely right now from a business stance, because I could see Darren and Josh make a movie as a franchise of multiple seasons of multiple films. But it means that we have to hit the bullseye on the first one. So when I look at what we can do together without having to go out into Hollywood and sell our souls and be able to keep ownership, that's where this idea, it's not that I think this idea is great. It's not that I think the story is amazing. I'm like, I know all of these people. I know I can get in these cons and film, and I know that we have the special effects guy to pull off something incredible. And I know that a movie like this does not need a Oscar Isaacs to sell, that if I put these people in the movie, it's going to work. People will go see it. And I think with the success of Terrifier, if we have awesome kills, it will work. Now, our job is to elevate that idea into being more than just chicken scratch on the back of a napkin. Let's make a killer con movie. To me, though, that's all about what is it they're fighting. And that is where I think the movie's either going to work or not work.
Right. All right. Well, let's get into that because that's your end of Act 1, what the kickoff.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah, please.
Comedy element?
Yeah.
So my only concern with the comedic element of it is like I feel 80s, 90s horror movies, like slasher films were good and they're funny and they're bad, but they weren't trying to be funny. So it's like the actors were just bad actors. They didn't know. And when they wrote the script, they didn't intend for it to have a comedic element to it.
Right.
And so what I feel like nowadays people are trying to do is write this comedic element into horror films and make it over the top funny, and it just doesn't come off funny anymore because they're trying too hard to make it that. And that's what I don't want this to turn into either. Because like, I mean, I keep talking about the Spirit Halloween movie, but that film, when you watch it, it's just so over the top and silly that it's not even good.
Can I? What was the name of the Joaquin Phoenix documentary? I'm Still Here. Is that what? I'm Not Here. What was the name of it? He did another movie right after that was almost the same title, but Joaquin Phoenix, Casey Affleck directed it.
Oh yeah.
It's almost like I want to do a real look at some, because I know some of these people very intimately and closely, and I've worked with them for years, and they are not the people we see on screen. And I think that, to me, that is what I want to do. And I think the comedy comes from, like, here's an example. I love Christopher Guest. I love Waiting for Guffman. I love Best in Show. No, these are mockumentaries. I don't mean that. They don't play it as jokes. They play it very seriously. What makes it funny is how serious they're playing it. Whether you're in Best in Show and it's Parker Posey is trying to enter this dog competition, or it's Waiting for Guffman and it's any of these people like they're so sold on their ability to act. The comedy comes from how serious it is, not that they're playing it for yucks. And I think it's the same thing here.
I get it.
The absurdity comes from that Bill Moseley is an Ivy League brilliant Mensa level person that plays the most degenerate, horrific mass murderer on screen. And it's what happens to that guy who's the Mensa level smart is put in a situation that Otis or Chop Top or Pavi Largo is put into. I think that, to me, is the dynamic thing. So I think you play it serious, and that in turn what makes it funny.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, that makes sense.
And I'm on board for that. I'm totally on board for that. As long as we're not winking at the camera.
Don't break the fourth wall.
Yeah. All right. So let's get on to, because I want to try to kill, and I know it's still, you're still thinking of it in this way, but I want to try to kill it today. I don't think it's an evil force from a mountain, like from a cave, and it's like a alien life force.
I know what you're thinking, and I will smack you fucking. Okay, let me say this. I'm
on Addison's on my side.
I don't know if that's what it is or not. I'm not saying that it does not have to be that, but I think that, and this is a conversation we need to have with the audience right now. So I'm going to look right here, audience. Listen to me here. I want you to comment down below. This is very important because this does involve you. There are some ideas that are being discussed right now that will completely spoil the movie. We've had them offline because the minute we say it, it's knowing Jigsaw stands off the floor. I am a proponent of us not giving that away, that we will beep things out where we feel they need to be. We will still give you unprecedented access to what we're doing and how we're doing it, but there are certain things that I think you don't want to hear. And if everyone in the comment section says, no, we want to hear it, we want to know who the killer is, we want to know what the thing is, then we'll make you a part of it. But I think that for right now, Josh, I know what you're talking about. And let's just refer to it as Force X right now, this Force X that I know that you're a big proponent of. First off, do you guys want to know everything? Do you want to know who the killer is? Do you want to know Jigsaw stands off the floor? Or do you want us to keep that completely off the table?
Do you that we see dead people? Like, I mean, honestly, that like we want to know.
We're going to tell you who Kaiser Soze is if you want to know it, but I don't know if that's going to make watching the movie.
And everyone I talk to has a different opinion on this. Like, literally, Lila was lambasting me yesterday about it. She was just like, "No, you definitely can't tell. You're going to ruin it for everyone." My retort for that was we had just watched Fight Club, and fucking the ending of Fight Club is given away in the book Fight Club.
Yeah,
when Chuck wrote it, it's out there. And it doesn't make the film any less enjoyable if you know that Brad Pitt and
this is different. I think this is different.
Yeah, it is.
We live in a different time than Fight Club. Fight Club was what, 95, 96? This thing you're supposed to.
All right.
Okay.
The Long Walk. I mean, like
yes, but we're not a book.
And we're not
other things.
That was based. I don't know if Long Walk was based on a twist. This idea that we're talking about is a twist.
That editing was different in the movie. That wasn't.
You're right. You're right.
So it still comes down to this question needing to be answered: is what is this thing? I always thought of first. Bird's Eye View was I love one of my favorite comedies of all time is Three Amigos. Right. I love that idea. I also am a fan of Expendables because it's one of those stupid, and I'm sorry, I don't mean stupid as in bad filmmaking. It's just a popcorn movie. It's like these guys I grew up watching, just blowing shit up and killing people. Yeah. And that's what makes that movie awesome. So I was like, if I could take those two ideas, the Expendables meets a idea like Three Amigos, that's really cool. For there to be the mayhem that I envision, and to actually see, and let's just right now for the hell of it, Bill Moseley, Doug Bradley, Danielle Harris, Tobin Bell, Adrian Barbeau, Derek Mears, to see these Kane Hodder do what they're going to do, and to see them go where we want them to go, there has to be enough of a force against them to elicit violence and a gratuitous amount of violence.
Yeah.
And so for me, a singular, we're going to call Force X, that is doing that, limits what I think we are allowed to do as filmmakers. Now, that said, I understand that there has been slasher movies, whether that is Hatchet films or any of the Friday the 13th, where a singular entity can wreak havoc, can do all this. But I think it goes back to what do we want the audience's experience in the movie? And I think it needs to be fun.
Yeah.
I think the difference between the Privilege and the Killer Khan idea is the Privilege is more cerebral. It's more of an A24 film. And I think this is more of a Midnight Madness bubblegum popcorn movie.
And that's one of the reasons why I'm excited we're doing both of them, because they are so kind of different and check off different boxes.
What if we set this on a sub while we're doing it? So,
hey, did you notice what my shirt is today?
What's it say? Chuck Buddy. Chuck Buddy. Good luck. Don't ever double it.
I mean, Josh, stand up to show the.
I think it's really crazy how in the last week and a half we've both reunited in our 11/11 and Good Luck Chuck. We had our last podcast, Good Luck Chuck, and I just reunited with my 11/11 producer about an upcoming very exciting guest.
Excellent, fantastic.
So, what I would say is when we get into the room on this is I think that maybe one of the things we bring into the writer's room is exploring the inciting incident. What are the different versions of this movie? Because I think that version, the original idea of this started a long time ago that I wanted to do, and again, it's almost Galaxy Quest, but I wanted to do a movie where I love alien stuff. An alien ship crashes in Comic-Con, and the aliens basically are on the Comic-Con floor, just eradicating and killing people. And it looks like an activation. It looks like it's the new activation for the new upcoming Warner Brothers whatever alien movie. So everyone's filming and laughing and whatever. And I was like, that's awesome. If there is a killer loose on a Comic-Con floor, no one thinks it's real, but it's happening in front of everybody. And the only people that can defend them are these killers in the movies, these monsters of cinema. So you have the supernatural force, which I understand we don't like. If it is a personal force, if it is a person or persons, it has to warrant chainsaws and axes and machetes and going crazy. And I think that
there's a lot of cosplayers at conventions, so that does warrant like for there to be weapons.
Before you say that, will you remember that, what you're about to say?
Yeah.
Remember what you're about to say, because I do think there is definitely a scene in here where they're taking the real weapons off of people as they're coming into the con, because you're only allowed to have plastic ones. So we could have a closet full of weapons to go
Derek
to.
Mirror breaks. He's like, what do we got?
Yeah, exactly.
That also could lead into, it could be a whodunit, which I know Tobin talked about too.
Yep.
And I think that that's a great idea. It could end up being one of the horror icons, and that would make sense as to why they would be able to get the weapon in, because they're able to they have suitcases of stuff that they're bringing in with them.
Yeah.
But there's so many people who have different motives, so it could be one of the horror icons. It could be one of the promoters who he's just there trying to get the most money. And as like Danielle was talking about with how sometimes they have to pay you out of pocket. There could be something there with a motive. There could be people outside who are protesting this horror convention. Like I was talking about, in Detroit Rock City, there's a bunch of people who are against rock music, and it could be the same with horror movies, but it's due to religion, and this is satanic, and this is the devil's work. These are the devil's movies. So these horror icons are, so there could be people outside protesting the convention as they're walking in. And
can you look up on your phone "Toy Soldiers" for me?
Yeah.
The Marquita song?
No, it's a movie.
The Britney Spears?
No. I think it's called Toy Soldiers. There is a movie that I remember from the 80s, and I think it's Richard Grieco, but I don't know if it's called.
There's one from 1991.
Who's in it?
And not Small Soldiers.
Have you heard of Richard Grieco? Addison?
Shut up. Don't.
Do you know who Richard Grieco is?
He was not born when Richard Grieco is having his moment. Do you see Toy Soldiers movie or something like that? Maybe it is Small Soldiers, not the
Small Soldiers is the DreamWorks one.
No, it's Tin Soldiers maybe. Can I say this?
Yeah.
Oh, it is Toy Soldiers.
Hi, I'm Vance. I'm the new editor, and I'm about to go to the Terrifier house. Never mind, there's like 30 more minutes of line left. My favorite horror movie is Black Christmas, and I'm gay.
We were too scared to hold the camera steady, so you can just enjoy hearing our whimpers of fear.
Oh my god! No, man! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Lost County Clown. Something really bad is gonna happen to us.
Oh shit! Oh my god! 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 What am I doing? This is me. This is me right after the Terrifier house. We were too scared to get more footage.
Hi guys, my name is Taylor and I'm helping out with the show's X account. So if you're talking to somebody on there, it is probably me, which I appreciate because I am the sole New Yorker on our crew and it does get lonely over here. I would have done something a little bit more fun and exciting for my intro, but I am obsessed with leaving things until the last minute. So this is what you get. A fun fact about me is that at any given moment, I am probably carrying around this little guy, my little emotional support, Billy the Puppet, which if you're a fan of this podcast, I probably don't need to explain. I'm very excited to be here. He's very excited to be here. Thanks for joining us.
What's up, everyone? I'm Brandon Dietto. I'm the guy making all the thumbnails for DJ Make a Movie. Running the YouTube channel as well. And designed the gut pillow. And fun fact, Josh has my tripod plate, so here's my setup right now. Also, everyone comment because Darren needs to look at the group chat more often. Because without him looking at the group chat, Josh has free range, and we end up with shit like this. No one wants to see these.
I hate your idea for this video.
What?
Okay. That idea is trash. Josh and Darren are gonna hate it.
Josh and Darren are gonna hate this AI slop.
The current projected valuation is billion. Little bit ridiculous. I would assume that we'd go with like $100 million valuation.
Okay, right. Okay.
Right, and that's in 2 weeks.
Yeah, on the 17th.
Oh. Hi, I'm Morgan. I've worked with Darren for 9 years and I'm busy.
Hey everyone, my name is Shay Harmon. I'm helping out with some art and graphical things here on the show. Super stoked to be helping out. A little bit about me. I live in Indiana. I collect VHS tapes, and if I had to describe myself as a character, Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. Let's make a movie.
Hi, my name is Jackson Avery Steele. I'm from Lakeville, Minnesota, and I'm one of the rotating editors for Darren and Josh Make a Movie. Like most of us, I am an aspiring writer and director, and you can buy my feature film Cutlery, as well as explore my other projects on aducksquack.com or Ducks Quack Entertainment on YouTube. I love physically collecting media. My favorite movie is The Lighthouse, and 3 movies I think you guys should check out are Zombievers, The Otis, which I'm sure you haven't heard about, and Strange Darling. Thank you and enjoy the show.
I think this is it. It's Louis Gossett Jr. and Sean Austin. No. Yeah, this is it. When an exclusive boarding school is taken hostage by a South American terrorist, the rebellious students risk their lives in a desperate, deadly campaign to stop them. That is it. It was not Richard Grieco, but that is it.
Okay.
So the idea was, it was a military school, and these guys come in to hold everyone hostage to try to collect money, and the kids have to defend. And it's not one person, it is a multitude of people. And it's almost like, is there, if we don't want to go to supernatural force, is there, I want that moment where they have to band together. What made Expendables fun to me is they're banding together, they're putting on the armor, they're doing the whatever. If it's a singular slasher, the odds of them being together, to me, it would feel like a one-on-one thing. It would be like, who's doing it? Who's done it? Let's go sign today. And then one person's taken off and one person's, I want that moment where they have to come together and become the unit of middle-aged monsters defending this thing. And so if you took that premise of toy soldiers and a group of undefined terrorists that we make up, it's not any country, it's undefined people, hold this convention floor hostage, and they're demanding $5 billion. They're going to blow the place up. And we see them actually execute some people right off the bat. And now everyone in the convention turns to our people, help us.
So you're thinking more Die Hard at Comic-Con. Like that version is Die Hard.
By the way,
events.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the things to say is another thing, filmmaking. We're in gray waters. Not gray waters, not the right word. We're in murky waters here. Josh, I'm going to send you a script of mine. I'm attached to a movie about a killer at Comic-Con.
Okay.
That is we have to stay clear of that. It cannot be a Comic-Con. And I want you to read it. Just so you know what we can't do.
Okay.
It's completely different premise, completely different. But I want you to read it. Okay. I think that for this, I would like to create a mythology of Gabe, you might know the answer to this. What are the biggest horror cons? Monster, the one in Texas.
Texas Frightmare, Monster Mania, Spooky Empire, Spookala.
You want to be primarily horror, I think, in this to stay away from the other subgenres. And I think that licensing is going to be a bitch for us. And so I think that if we kept it to people that we knew we can contact, that they have direct connections with the character they played. So I would make it like it is the bad example, but the Texas one is Texas Frightmare.
Yes.
It's Texas Frightmare where it's the once a year, it's the biggest, baddest villains all get together. And maybe in that, I'm making this up right now, but maybe in that convention at the same time, there is another, I'm gonna steal some of stripper camp. Remember when the ballerinas got left at the stripper camp and the strippers, the ballerina? Maybe, because in conventions, there's multiple events taking place at one time. What if in that bad example is, and we do something better than this, it's the Diamond Convention, and that's 2 floors up. They take the wrong floor hostage. And so they realize we're fucked. We've got the wrong, we can't leave now. We got to demand this fucking money. So you have something to make sense why these people have held this group hostage. But that allows me, I think, more interesting kills, more death count at once. So yeah, I guess it is kind of Die Hard. Now, that's one version. The singular version is the other version. Do you think if you knew the twist, it would take away from the fun of what it is? If someone said to you, I know what the twist is, it's this, does that hurt the film?
For the idea that we know we're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it could hurt.
You know what the idea is?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of like going in and seeing a movie trailer, and within that 1 minute of the trailer, the whole movie is spoiled, and I know everything that's going to happen. And I'm like, okay, well then what's the point of me going to see this movie now?
Yeah. That worries me about that. I'm gonna try to be as vague as I can. An idea has been presented by one of our audience members that we took a shine to, and it's a really cool idea. It's a twist. It is as big as John Kramer standing off the floor. My concern is that it relies on a twist before we know what the movie is. And if that twist is out there in advance, then I might not go see the movie because it's already such a niche market, like horror signing comic conventions. And then you have this thing. If I knew what that is, I don't know. So much hangs on that. So much hangs on that twist. It concerns me. And I'm not saying it's bad. I like it. I like it a lot. It scares me. It scares me that it is so reliant on that twist. And does the movie work without the twist? If you got rid of that twist, does the movie work? I can say that Saw would still work if you got rid of John Kramer. At least that one movie does. You couldn't have a franchise, obviously, but if you cut the movie off and Adam, and Gordon, he saws off his foot and whatever, I'm still entertained by that movie.
Yeah.
If the twist did not happen in this movie, is it still entertaining?
Yeah. Not as, I'll be honest, it's not as, but yeah. Can we step away from the twist for a second and go back to what Shawnee said in the room, which was her idea was that there's one of their own is taken, and that's where they have to come together as a group. Her version was, Linda Blair is either killed or taken, and our group needs to kind of step up and.
Well, that's how they would start to notice that something's wrong too. Is like people disappearing. Well, if people were coming up being like, oh, hey, Robert Englund's supposed to be here in 30 minutes, and then 30 minutes passes and Robert Englund still isn't there. It's gonna kind of come up that people are like, oh, where is he?
But where are the
There's something
stakes?
going
My
on.
thing is that the stakes, as I get it, you're a singular person that we're betting that all of these people are going to murder and kill for. Now, by doing that, here's another crazy idea. What was the movie?
Right, but wait, before you change the subject, because I've got an answer to that, is maybe it's not Linda Blair. Maybe it's the little girl who plays Megan. Maybe it's it's somebody that we deeply irrationally care for. I think we could get away with that.
You're still dealing with a singular instance that's propelling the violence, as opposed to a force that something bad is going to happen in X amount of time unless they take action now. And you want that ticking clock of propelling the violence to occur, because this movie needs to be fun. It needs to be brutal fucking kills. Are we down?
Moment and record it.
Okay, cool.
And by the way, I'm open to any of these ideas, specifically the one that I know you're in favor of. I want to play devil's advocate on them, because I think, again, it's all about that who it is. That's the whole thing is about. One other idea. Did you see that movie? I think it's called, it's a one-word title. It starts with a C. It's about a dinner party and an asteroid is flying overhead. Convergence?
Coherence.
Coherence. What if it's are you guys following 3i Atlas right now?
Fun fact, that movie was shot on 3 Canon DSLRs, I believe.
For $50,000 or something ridiculous. But
yeah, it was insane.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So the premise is there's a dinner party. There is a comet that is passing over, and it may be the end of the world.
Right.
What if I don't know if anyone here is following 3i Atlas. 3i Atlas is this, there's a UFO, and he's a professor, Avi Loeb, who said that he is, we need to basically prepare that this could be alien contact. If you Google Avi Loeb, he talks about how it is displaying signs that this is not just a regular comet.
Right.
It is supposed to pass by the sun on the 29th, which is tomorrow. It is supposed to be completely visible to consumer-based telescopes. And
You've got a consumer-based telescope. I saw it in your house.
There is, but if you Google 3i Atlas right now and go down the conspiratorial rabbit hole, what if it is an event that occurs that is not necessarily a you know, a asteroid crashes and chaos ensues, or there is a huge event that takes place. Like I'm watching on Netflix right now, the Catherine Bigelow movie called House of Dynamite. Have you heard about that?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, nuclear war thing. That's like, what if they are there when this happens? That there is a huge event that takes place, and they're the ones that have to save the day, whatever that thing is. So it could be human, supernatural.
It's just too close. That setup is, I think, too close to This Is the End.
What's This Is the End? Oh, the separate.
I mean, it's basically a bunch of celebrities having an end of the year party, and
have you not seen
an asteroid is going to destroy the world, and they have to save the world.
But I'm saying, like, what if the asteroid was an alien invasion, and it was not friendly aliens? It was like fucking, we're gonna kill you aliens, and the first ship is where they are, and so it's Mars Attacks meets Expendables.
Yeah, it's a possibility. I'm worried that it's gonna be too silly.
I think that's the element that because you can be serious all you want with the dialogue and all that stuff, but it's not realistic.
But imagine playing it completely serious. They don't realize they're in a comedy. We don't shoot it like a comedy. It is played dead fucking serious.
I just asked if this was Tucker and Dale versus Evil, and you were like, yes.
It is.
I feel like the aliens would look goofy though.
I know.
I'm saying go watch any Christopher Guest mockumentary.
Yes, I understand what you're saying.
They don't play it as a comedy, but it is hilarious.
I agree.
So I think the movie is funny, but it is not played as a comedy.
Yeah.
So what is your pitch then? The secret idea, the twist idea?
No, I'm open to that. I'm definitely open to that. I want it to feel big and fun and all of the things you want it to feel as well. I just don't want it to be silly. I just don't want it to be silly.
Another fun thing that I was gonna say you guys could play with, because a lot of people dress up at Comic-Con or at horror conventions, it could be a terror train type thing where, you know, the killer is somebody who is like, I mean, I don't know, they can dress up and maybe they switch costumes.
You never know who it is.
Yeah. I mean, I love that. I love Terror Train. That idea that we're swapping masks would be great. I think you don't know who it is, why it is.
Yeah.
I do love the idea that if every character that's in it is presented at the signing table, because everyone dresses up like Jigsaw or Kane Hodder.
Yeah.
If like, so he's signing things and someone's there with the Jason mask, and the first kill, it's him in his own mask. He's being killed.
By Jason.
By Jason. And then when the other people hear about it the next day, they're all on edge. Like, and maybe the convention gets shut down, but like what's going on right now? All the flights get canceled because we're on government shutdown and there's all this. So now they're stuck in this town and they keep getting people coming up to them on Halloween. So now every monster is stuck in town on this thing because government shut down the airports. And so Tobin Bell has a Jigsaw kid coming up to him, and you have Kane Hodder having, you know, Victor Crowley come up to him. Then there's something fun there. But I know you hate fun. You are not a fan of fun.
You can also have your next horror icon too, if you created a sort of cosplay.
I love that idea, Addison, and yes, we should definitely be thinking about that because I mean, why is Terrifier without Art the Clown? Is Halloween without Michael Myers?
Convention killer.
What if this is the birth of the new guy and he's killing them off to become the new thing, but he's doing it for real?
Yeah.
And so he has his own look, his own whatever.
Yeah, that's the motive. He wants to be a horror icon.
He wants to be the next horror. And then your twist maybe could work because without the twist, it still worked. But when you reveal who that really is, then it has the extra pay.
Yeah. That's good.
There is a formula for cults. And you know, I've thought about this for 20 years now, what made Repo and what made Devil's Carnival work. It is because it is so flamboyantly over the top. Why is Rocky Horror Cult? Why is, you know, a lot of these movies, why is Tommy Cult? It is flamboyant, it is over the top, and it is it allows the audience to have fun with it.
I agree.
But you were talking about doing something very serious, and I'm
not. To be very, very clear, I'm not suggesting that this is a serious movie. What I am suggesting is that we get real pathos. in the
I don't
film.
want anyone to pretend. We shoot it like a drama / horror. We do not play anything for laughs, and that in turn will make it hilarious.
I agree.
Okay.
I'm in.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, so
I think that's great.
I think if you even shoot it like an A24 movie, you shoot it like very raw and realistic in tight close-ups of like real emotional turmoil of divorces and foreclosures. And then they have to don the battle suits of whatever weapons they've taken off the fucking kids and have to go do this. But they never like tongue in cheek look at the camera and give the wink. And they're like they're hurt and they're fucked up and the guy's knees can't get. I mean, like
I'm in.
Me, the audience is gonna laugh and they're gonna be with us.
I love it.
So I would say this. I think that I will take a stab based on this of the one pager.
Great.
And you know what I'll do is I'm going to ask questions in it to them as well. So it's not just, it's basically, here's where we're stuck. Here are the things that we would like to discuss. I think you do the same thing.
Yeah. That's what I'll do. Yep. 100%.
Everyone, if you're listening and watching or whatever it is, we want you to really comment on this one. This is your chance to have a voice in this this whole pre-production of a script idea of what we're doing. And by the way, one of these ideas that we're talking about very seriously came from a comment from one of you. So we are taking these very seriously. So please like, comment, share on this and become part of the discussion.
That's a wrap on today's episode. Please give the show a follow, and if you could leave a rating or a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, each post helps us reach more listeners like you. Another way to support us is to join the crew at djmakeamovie.com. We'd love to hear from you. Follow and join the conversation at DJ Make a Movie on all social platforms. Let's make a movie together.
Darren and Josh Make a Movie, Season 1. Hosted by Darren Bousman and Josh Stolberg. Produced by Addison Marshall. Email the team at djmakeamovie@gmail.com. To watch on video and enjoy all the visuals you may have missed listening to the audio version of the show, subscribe to the Darren and Josh Make a Movie YouTube channel. Thank you for joining.
Oh yes, there will be blood.
No, it's not creepy at all.
I run a house with 50 crazy bitches. Taught them to survive.
This is real life!
You're hallucinating.
It is real.
This is okay.
That girl really needs to learn to keep her mouth shut.
A man with a cello.
That is disgusting. Is that a fucking piranha? He took my penis! He took my penis! Oh, I wish I hadn't seen that.
You haven't seen anything yet.
You want to play games, motherfucker?
Citrate comes in a little glass vial.
Hallelujah!
Darren and Josh Make a Movie.
Cut, Casper. That's a wrap.